Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is the time of year for the Sylvie sale at Chantecaille. This happens once a year. It is Sylvie's birthday sale. It is so exciting because it is the time of year to get the biggest discount on Chantecaille products, stock up on your favorites, try something new. And I'm here today with a full face of Chantecaille. So I'm going to show you some of my favorites and how I achieved this look. But I'm also here to offer you an early access code, and it is Mandy SS25. So it's going to get you 25% off the entire site of Chantecaille. Now that does exclude the philanthropic give back products. So it's going to be everything else. Not only do you get 25% off, but if you spend $600, you also get this beautiful Chantecaille rose tote. Y'all, I can't even explain how pretty this is. I almost don't want to use it because I don't want to get it dirty. It is so pretty. It's got a very good amount of space in it. It's made out of very, very, very sturdy fabric. It is gorgeous. So that is going to come free with $600 order while supplies last. And I'm just here to show some of my favorites. Now we are going to jump into this look. I'm going to talk about some fragrances at the end. But before we do that, I wanted to talk very quickly about my top 5 favorite skincare products from Chantecaille. Now this is definitely not an extensive list of my favorites. I have many more, and I've talked about a lot of them in previous videos. But these are the ones that come to mind first when I think about my favorites. This is probably my favorite serum that Chantecaille offers, and it is the Bio Lifting Serum. I love this. This is a peptide-rich plant botanical stem cell serum that does wonders, can't even speak, I like it so much, for hydration and plumping and just overall healthy look to your skin. I love this. I have gone through an entire one. This is a new one. I really do love it. It's my favorite serum. Now, as far as a moisturizer, I would have to say my favorite is the Bio Lifting Cream. Do you sense a theme here? But I really do like this moisturizer. I'm halfway done with it. I have used it the past few nights on my skin. It sinks in really nicely, but it gives me enough moisture. And sometimes when I feel like I get enough moisture from a moisturizer, it can be a little too heavy. I don't find that at all with this, and you can definitely amp up the moisture by adding in another one of my favorites, the Rose de Mai face oil. So you can see how much I have used of this. I like to add just 3 or 4 drops to my moisturizer, or if I'm very, very dry, I will put them on separately. I find that that works even better to add a ton of moisture. I will finish off my routine by patting in 4 or 5 drops of this on top of everything else. Love it. This is also great mixed in with heavier foundations if you want to sheer them out and add some hydration. So those are my favorite moisture products. And then this is my favorite Chantecaille skincare product out of all of them. And it's the Stress Repair Concentrate. This is an eye cream, and I use it every single morning, no fail. I love this eye cream so much. This is my second one, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to see how much I have used of that. It is almost gone, but I have another one in backup because I don't wanna be without it. That is how much I love this stuff. It depuffs, it moisturizes, it smooths, it blurs, it does everything. It checks all the boxes for me. So I absolutely love that. Cannot recommend it enough. And then the Pure Rose Water. This is beautiful. In fact, I did not use this at the end of my makeup. So there you go. This is a beautiful refresher throughout the day. Set your makeup in, take that powdery look away, keep it in your purse on a hot day, use it in between skincare steps. There's so many ways to use this rose water, and I love it. I love the way it smells. This is my 3rd one, I think, and I have a backup of this as well. And then finally, one that I don't have, but that I will be repurchasing during the sale myself is the Rice and Geranium Foaming Cleanser. I have gone through 2 or 3 of those, and I adore that cleanser. It's one of my very favorite cleansers of all time. So I'm definitely going to be partaking in the sale myself and purchasing one of those. So I will have my code and link and everything down below. Definitely take part in this if you're interested in some Chantecaille products. But in the meantime, let's jump in and I will show you how I got this look. Okay, let's jump in and get ready using some of my favorite products from Chantecaille. The first thing I'm gonna do is prep these under eyes and get some of this darkness to go away. And I'm gonna use the Le Camouflage Stilo Anti-Fatigue Corrector Pen. And I am in the shade 3. This shade works best for me. It's got that peachy undertone. It really helps correct the darkness. It is a very lightweight corrector / concealer. So you're not gonna get a ton of coverage, but the color itself really does a lot to correct that darkness and, like the name suggests, camouflage stuff that you don't want to be as prominent. Now I have to mention one of my very favorite newer products from Chantecaille, and it is the anti-aging face tint. I'm not going to use this today because I did feature this in my skin tint video. I'll put a card up if you missed that. But this is heavenly if you like a super lightweight, sheer to light coverage that gives a warmth and just like a healthy look to the skin. This is where you want to go. I love this so much. But I'm going to use an oldie but a very goodie of mine, and I pulled out the Future Skin Gel Foundation. This was my first love as far as foundations go from Chantecaille. I have this, personally, I have this in my kit. I love it so much. It is a very hydrating gel formula. It applies great with your hands. It applies great with a brush. I don't particularly love to use a sponge with this, but this to me is a nice light to light medium coverage foundation that applies beautifully and leaves a hydrated, plumped look. It's not necessarily overly dewy, but it is very hydrated and plump and gorgeous. So I like to apply with the brush and the hands to kind of tap it in for more coverage. And then I'm going to use just a little bit underneath my eyes as well to kind of top off and give just a little bit more coverage to that Stilo pen that I used. But because this formula is so hydrating, I feel like it's really good if you have dry under eyes to do this step if you need a little bit more coverage. Every time I use this, I just adore how it looks on the skin. Now, another product that I use and love is the Just Skin Tinted Moisturizer. This does have an SPF 15 in it. And sometimes I find it even has more coverage than the gel cream, but they both are glorious on the skin. I have lots of videos where I use this if you want to check those out. I'm going to use a cream blush today. And I have one that I have shown a lot, and it's in the shade Happy, and it is just a very happy pink shade, you can see right there. And then I got a new one that Chantecaille sent over, and this one is in the shade Lively. This is their Cheek Gelée Hydrating Gel Cream Blush. This is a gorgeous corally orange shade. Both so pretty. I think I'm gonna use Lively today because I haven't used that on camera. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that on the hand, and I'm gonna pick it up with a brush. You could definitely do this with your hands if you wanted to, and I'm just gonna stipple that. Look at that pretty color into the cheeks. I feel like if you put it on with your hands, you're gonna get the most amount of pigment. Whereas if you use a brush, it blends it out a little bit more. So it just depends on how much pigment you're wanting. I hope that shade is coming across on camera because it's so pretty. All right, let's jump into the eyes while we let all of this sink into the skin before we set it. Lots of favorite eye products at Chantecaille. The mermaid eye colors are some of my very favorites. I have talked about Copper. That's probably my very favorite. Triton is a beautiful, like tealish, silvery shade. All of these I have used in past videos. I will do my best to find almost all of my Chantecaille videos and link them down below. Today, I'm gonna start off with Sylvie, which is this really pretty brown matte shade. And these are almost like a cream to powder. So there's hardly any kick up, if any at all. Definitely no fallout. And so I'm just gonna take that pretty much all over the lid, and I'm going to blend it up into the crease. One of the main reasons I love these in particular, but pretty much all of the Chantecaille eye products, is because they are so simple to use. They are very user-friendly, but they always make it look like it's a complicated eye look, which to me is the best kind of product. And because this is matte, I have no issue bringing it all the way up into the crease. I mean, that right there is an eye look. You really don't need to do anything else, but it's me, so I'm going to. And I'm gonna show you my favorite duo, eyeshadow quad duo, and that is Monte Carlo. So I have Monte Carlo, which is this peach and bronze. I have Kenya, which is very pretty purple shade. So like a very light pinky purple and then a darker purple. And then Grand Canal, which is more of a gold and green. All of them are beautiful, but I would say Monte Carlo is probably my favorite just because the peach and the brown are so beautiful. So what I'm gonna do just to liven this look up just a little bit is take a little bit of that peach and tap it on top of this Sylvie. And it's not gonna look necessarily peach when you add it in with this brown, but when you mix the brown and the peach, it just makes this really pretty color on the eye. And that's some of the most fun I feel like with makeup. It's just playing around and mixing colors and seeing what works. And then I'm gonna take the Luster Glide Silk Infused Eyeliner. I have 3 shades. I have black, amethyst, and jasper. So it's a black, a really pretty kind of amethyst purple, and then this beautiful dark smoky brown. Jasper is by far my favorite just because I feel like it goes with the most. And so I'm going to take that and I'm going to just roughly line my upper lash line. And one of the reasons I love these so much is because they have a little bit of playtime. And so I like to take a brush and kind of just smudge it out a little bit so that it really gives that smoky intensity to the lash line. And then you can build it up as much as you want, depending on how smoky you want it to be. I like this technique for a couple of reasons. For those who don't like a really harsh looking line for eyeliner, this is great because it always ends up looking smoky when you smudge it. And then those who just feel like they just don't have a steady enough hand to do an exact perfect line. This is supposed to look imperfect, so it works out great for those people as well. Now let's move on to setting the face. I have a few options that I love from Chantecaille. There is the HD Perfecting Powder. And this is great if you want a little bit more of a mattified look. I find that this is the one I reach for the most when I want to take down the shine. And then this is special limited edition packaging, but they have it permanently now, and it's the Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. And this is good for blurring, as it states. And I like to stipple this powder in. So I like to use like the Buff and Blur brush and really just press this powder in to the skin. Really like that one for blurring. And then if you can tell by the fact that I have hit pan, this is my favorite powder product. Now this is the compact powder. This is truly like a powder foundation. It's one of my absolute favorite powder foundations, but I also find this works well to set the face. So I'm in the shade Camel, and I'm gonna take a little bit of that and just set that gel foundation. Honestly, probably need to take advantage of purchasing another one during the sale since I have hit pan, and it probably won't be long until I completely run out. Now, let's add a little bit of dimension into the face with some bronzer. I love this bronzer if you like a very glowy look. This is the Radiance Gel Bronzer, and it's the same gel formula as the blush. Now, that is obviously a very heavy swatch. It blends out very beautifully and just leaves, you can see how it's catching that light, just leaves a beautiful glow on the face. You could also use the anti-aging face tint as a bronzer, depending on your skin tone. I love the Real Bronze powder bronzer. So I have Goa, which is the darker, more cool toned, and then Serena, which is the little bit lighter, more warm toned. Both work for my skin. I am going to use Serena today. And this is a Baked Gelée formula. So it's going to have a finish that has a little bit of a natural sheen to it just because of how the product is made. I don't find that it is excessive. I don't think it makes my face look sweaty or oily or too luminous, but if you can see, it does add a little bit of a sheen. I personally love it. I love this color. I love the product. It comes with a really pretty imprint, but I've pretty much taken all of that off of both of these shades because I use them so often. Now for highlight, I am going to go back into the Liquid Lumiere Anti-Aging Face Illuminator in the shade Sheen. I've talked about this in my favorite liquid and cream highlight video. I love this stuff. And I do find that it works great over powder. So even though I have set the face, this is still going to go great on top of that. I mean, this amount right here is probably enough for like 4 faces. I always get too much. You just don't need much at all, as you're going to be able to see. And I'm just going to put that on the high points. Look how pretty that is. See how that just blends seamlessly? This is also really pretty if you wanted like a super luminous blush, if you wanted to mix it in with one of the gel liquid blushes that I showed, or any of the colors. Just so pretty. And I'm going to take a little bit up on the brow bone. See, isn't that such a... I am never disappointed with a Chantecaille look, ever. We'll put a little bit in the inner corner. And then to finish out the eye look, I'm actually going to mix Sylvie with the peach shade from the Monte Carlo palette. And I'm just going to put that on a small smudge brush and use that underneath the eyes. If you wanted to go more smoky, then definitely take that Jasper shade under the eye and then smoke that out. I have done that a few times on my channel and it always makes a beautiful smoky look. I'm going to go off camera to do my mascara, but I am going to be using one of my very favorite mascaras of all time. I think this might be my 4th or 5th tube. This is the Chantecaille Longest Lash Faux Cils Mascara. Y'all, I know this mascara is not cheap, but there is a growth property complex in it that I really do think helps the lashes just look full and grow and be healthy and conditioned. And I've never not gotten compliments on my lashes when I wear this. So I'm going to go off camera real quick and apply that. You see what I mean? I forgot to even curl my lashes before I put the mascara on today, and this is how good they look. I just can't recommend that enough. Okay, let's do some lips real quick, and then I'm gonna talk about a few fragrances that I love. This is the, see if I can read it, Hydrating Balm Lipstick in Beach Rose. Very much a Mandy color. Love this so much, and it is very hydrating. And if you want even a little bit more hydration, you can go on top with the gloss. And this is in the shade Charm, I believe. I have it covered up with a label for even more shine. Oh, so hydrating. And again, love that color. Now let me talk about the 4 fragrances that I have, because I think this is a great time to take advantage of a discount on their fragrances. I love Chantecaille fragrances. I don't think they're talked about enough in my opinion. I believe I will be purchasing one during the sale, and I'll tell you what that one is in just a minute. This is Tiare. And this is a very tropical floral fragrance. So it has some lily of the valley, it has some ylang ylang, a little bit of jasmine and tiare flower, but then on the base, it has musk and vanilla and heliotrope. So it gives a tad bit of a powdery vibe, but really what I get most out of this is my Nana's pool in Florida in the summer. That's what I get. It is just a gorgeous summer floral tropical perfume. Love it so much. And then another summer favorite of mine, but really this is all year round, and this is probably my favorite out of all the ones that I have. This is Frangipani. And this one is definitely sweeter than all of the other ones that I have. It has violet leaf and orange, Frangipani, ylang ylang, incense, which gives a little bit of a deeper, almost syrupy vibe, jasmine, vanilla, musk, and amber. And I really get, I feel like I get the amber, a little bit of the jasmine, and the Frangipani in this. So it's a heavier tropical, but it makes it sweeter too. So, so good. And then if you want something not as tropical, maybe something a little bit heavier, you could look into Kalimantan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. This one is definitely more on the spicier side. It's got bergamot, thyme, and rosemary, patchouli, incense, labdanum, sandalwood, cedar, vanilla, benzoin, styrax, and oud. So those are heavy notes, right? You've got the patchouli, you've got the oud. The rosemary and thyme give it a little bit of a spice feel. But I do get the patchouli out of this. I do get the oud. So it's going to be a little bit of a heavier fragrance. I think one more suited to summer nights or fall and winter. But if you like that, it's beautiful. And then one that I believe is more geared toward men because of the cap, but it to me is beautiful and I love wearing it, is Oude Fume. So it's in the name of this fragrance. This has oud. Oud is agarwood. It is a very dense, heavy wood note. And if you've smelled it and become acquainted with it, you can definitely pick it out in a fragrance. And this surely has it in there, obviously because of the name, but just smelling it. But it also has bergamot, rosemary, and thyme on the top, similar to Kalimantan, but it has more of an oudy, leathery dry down. There is leather in the base, and I do get that. This is definitely more unisex in my opinion, but no less beautiful. And the one that I think I'm going to be getting is Petals or Petals, Petales. I have a sample of that, and it is a gorgeous gardenia tuberose scent. And those are the two things I get the most out of that scent, gardenia and tuberose. And it is very realistic. It is like sticking a nose into a bouquet of gardenias and tuberose. Just beautiful. So I do believe I may be partaking in the sale for that. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I will have everything listed down below. Do not forget about my early access that starts today and my coupon code, which will also be listed down below. Let me know what you're interested in getting. Definitely check out my other Chantecaille videos that I have linked down in the description box. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.